Hello and welcome to Israeli Frenemies, the only news show co-hosted and co-presented by two activists from opposing political views. I'm Uri Zaki, representing the Israeli left.
And I'm May Golan, representing the Israeli right. We may be from the same country, but we don't share the same views. So get ready to find out why. So Uri, how was your week?
My week was about just love, love, and more love. Those were the words President Trump chose to answer Israeli Channel 10's Moav Vardi's question about concerns within the American Jewish community of the rising anti-Semitic incidents since his election. In his answer, the president didn't even mention the word anti-Semitism, just spoke generally about racism and hatred. This continues the line the White House took last week when it insisted not to mention the Jewish victims on its International Holocaust Memorial Day press release. Standing next to the president was the leader of the Jewish state, Benjamin Netanyahu. He had a chance to address those authentic concerns of his fellow Jews in the US, while of course respecting President Trump's warm hospitality. He failed to do so. Not since the dawn of Zionism 120 years ago has there been such a distance between Israel and the Jews in the diaspora. And Mai, how was your week?
Well, Uri, my week was definitely very, very different. My week was all about us entering to a new era of the death of politically correctness, a new era where our Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is finally being accepted with a warm hug by the new President-elect Donald J. Trump. I think that we are facing a new future that will lead to a true friendship between Israel and America, such as we have not seen for the last 8 years with Barack Hussein Obama. And I truly hope that we are entering a friendship zone that will keep Israel safe and the friendship between America and Israel forever and ever. And now, let's go to our first topic.
Thank you very much. So I'm looking at two-state and one-state, and I like the one that both parties like. I'm very happy with the one that both parties like. I can live with either one.
Well, for me, Uri, this meeting between our Prime Minister to Donald Trump was wonderful, obviously. I think that when Trump is saying, for me, one state or two state, whatever is good for you, for me it means that finally we won't have a president that forces us to do something against our will, and finally we will be able to run our country without the pressure from the left groups that we had in the United States.
So, first of all, I have to mention that the way Netanyahu was accepted is very, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the Prime Minister of our country...
very different from what we had.
Yes, I respect the fact that our Prime Minister was hosted in a very nice and positive manner. Having said that, I want to say two things. First of all, regarding this sentence, one state, two states, as if we're talking about, I don't know, what to buy in the grocery store. We're talking about the future of Israel, the future, whether we can flourish and succeed living in this country.
The future of Israel means that the two-state solution is dead and buried.
Perhaps.
That's what it means.
I hope not. First of all, I hope not.
Well,
I want to emphasize the fact that although I did not like what the president said about that issue, he did say an agreed upon one state or two state. An agreed upon, meaning agreed upon both the Palestinians and Israel. If the Palestinians will ever agree on a one-state solution,
Israel to do something against our will.
Right, but he said it's going to be an agreed upon solution. An agreed upon one state means that Israel would cease to be a Jewish homeland. Now, I see that as the worst possible future I can imagine.
Well, I see that as what it is. And what it is for me is the fact that the two-state solution is dead. The Oslo agreements are dead. And we are finally finally facing the reality of the fact that there is one state for the Jewish people.
And what about the 2.5 million Palestinians living in the West Bank?
That is willing to accept her civilians in a case that they will not threaten her, not will attack her as they are doing right now. One second. We have have one country for the Jews. We have been fighting for her for over 2,000 years, and finally we are living in our homeland.
We all agree that we fought for it. But what do you do with 2.5 million Palestinians living there? If it's one state, one person, one vote, there is a Palestinian majority and no more Jewish homeland.
There has been several plans that we offered to those so-called Palestinians.
You said that it's a dead...
They do not want to coexist with us. So right now...
So apartheid?
No.
No rights?
Well, apartheid, please.
So I'm asking, what's the solution then?
The solution is to...
What's your solution?
My solution.
Because that's what President Trump said yesterday. He said,
listen, Uri,
I don't care. I don't care what solution you should take.
I don't care.
He said that. He said, no. If you want two states, if you and the Palestinians want two states,
yeah, he wants something that is good for both sides.
Go for it.
He wants something that is good for both sides. And Israel knows what is good for her today, and this is one state for the Jews.
There's also the Palestinians.
Okay, the Palestinians do not want to live in peace. We do not
So what do you suggest?
We do not have a leader there that is willing to live with us in peace, that is willing to accept an agreement. I suggest that we will continue to try and make agreements that President Trump will respond to, and that Benjamin Netanyahu will be able to go with. But right
agreements
now,
about what? If it's a one-state solution,
yeah, agreements.
So you annex the whole territory,
yeah,
and you have 2.5 million Palestinians living there. Put aside the fact that the president himself said only if the Palestinians would accept it. Let's assume that they accept it. Do you think they'll accept it without the right to vote? And if you're not granting them the right to vote, how do you, so you meant the end of democracy?
Giving the right to vote to those Palestinians is basically calling a death sentence to the Jewish nation.
I agree.
Okay? So
that's why I want a two-state solution.
But a two-state solution is basically giving them a state where they'll just make their terror bigger. They'll just bring more people inside that will attack Israel.
So I'm with you.
And won't give an option to Israel. My option is to, first of all, listen, if we had a partner on the other side, I would be all for to try and go for a peace agreement. But we don't have a peace agreement, and we don't have a partner. Sorry, we don't have a partner on the other side that is willing. We have someone. One second. We have someone on the other side that doesn't even acknowledge the basic right of the Jewish nation to exist. We have someone on the other side that thinks that I, because of my parents, should go back to Iraq. You should go back to where your parents came from. Where?
In Poland.
In Poland, exactly.
Egypt and Poland.
And the rest of us should go back to Europe, or even the radicals between them said we should be drowned in the ocean. But right now, the most important thing for me
As far as settlements, I'd like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit. We'll work something out.
With us today is Boaz Ha'etzni, Director of Public Diplomacy for the Samaria Regional Council, and a columnist and one of the major voices within the settlement movement. Hi, Boaz.
Hi.
So, yesterday, after 8 years of Obama, we have a new settlement freeze. The president asked the prime minister for another settlement freeze.
No, it's not. It's not accurate.
Okay.
Look,
not accurate at all.
In the period of 8 years of Obama, the settlements in Judea and Samaria grew up with something about minimum 150,000 Jews. So let us assume that the next 8 years are going to double itself.
Why should we assume that, by the way? We heard yesterday the prime minister. We heard the president. He said it's going to be, hold back on settlements now. Why do you think it's going to be different?
Can you compare the Obama attitude to the settlements and the Jewish presence in Judea and Samaria to Trump?
Boaz,
let's compare the ideological attitude of Obama burning against our presence here, and Trump who dropped some words and went on?
Boaz, let me help you here. I think Uri is trying to make an elephant out of a fly. He's trying to make something that Trump may have said a little bit bigger than what it is. But do you think that actually?
And the Prime Minister yesterday repeated it when speaking to reporters.
We both know where Trump stands and where Benjamin Netanyahu stands, and we both know that settlements are going to grow, and we won't have a lot of issues, hopefully, in this upcoming 4 years. But Boaz, I want to ask you: do you think Donald Trump said what he said in order to keep some voices quiet, or he just, trying to show that he's actually objective in this side? Because we both know that the Donald Trump and his people around him and the minister and the ambassador David Friedman that is about to go in are very pro-settlements and very pro-Israel.
My impression from this meeting was that Trump doesn't care about what Israel is going to do in Judea and Samaria. He dropped some words, and actually what we saw yesterday was the official the official executing of the Palestinian state, because the Palestinian state option has died somewhere about 10 years ago, because of the huge Jewish presence in Judea and Samaria, which is irreversible. But yesterday it was the declare of the Palestinian state is finished.
So what is your comment about the rumors that actually the person who cooled down the enthusiasm of Donald Trump is actually Benjamin Netanyahu? Because they say that, and it's rumors that are flying all over Israel and causing the prime minister not a bit of damage. That basically, if it was up to Donald Trump, the embassy would have moved in his first week, and if it was up to Donald Trump, he would be saying things about the settlements in his first couple of days. But actually, Benjamin Netanyahu is the one who's cooling him off. Do you think it's true, or is just a way of the media?
I guess this is the case. That Netanyahu told Donald Trump how to represent his attitude for the convenience of Netanyahu.
So what you're basically saying that Netanyahu, I want to emphasize what you're saying. You're saying that in order to deal with internal politics and the pressure from you guys, from the settlers, Netanyahu asked the president to be harsh on this issue.
No, not to deal with the settlers, Uri, to deal with the actual pressure from the left groups and the Arabs. Yeah, because he's trying. But what the rumors are saying, and I'm not validating if they're true or not. And tell me, Boaz, if I'm right.
Why does he care about the left groups?
Is that in order to keep his his power in his government, Benjamin Netanyahu don't want the embassy to move, don't want more settlements to build, so he'll be able to continue and play. One second.
This is too much for me. I don't understand what you're saying.
I know. This is a very
explain it to
strong theory.
Viewers,
so I'm trying. The viewers, again, I'm explaining that the rumors that are running, not just rumors, the talks in between the media and between the Likud people themselves, is that in order to keep his strong, method of Benjamin Netanyahu in his government, he wants to keep playing the game where he wants to do right-wing actions, but the government won't let him, the government in the US. And he doesn't have it with Donald Trump this time.
But that's vis-a-vis the right, not vis-a-vis the left.
I think Netanyahu is not a revolutionary. He is a conservative. He wants to conserve the situation. He doesn't want any change. And if there is changes, he wants to do it very, very small changes, and it doesn't want to make any revolution in the situation in Judea and Samaria. So this is our duty to press and to drive him to build much more, because this situation of, or this strange situation of our huge presence there without any rights, because we are the only population in Israel.
Finish your sentence.
Military control, military regime. We don't have democracy.
Boaz, we need to finish. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Tov, as expected, I started with Tov because I'm an Israeli. As expected, you know, they're attacking David Friedman, one of the best friends Israel could have asked for, one of the finest ambassador Israel really could have wished for to have. And I'm not surprised. You know, they're attacking every step that Donald Trump is doing. Obviously, they're attacking everything that is pro-Israel, pro-settlements, pro-right-wing. I'm not surprised. I'm hoping Trump won't get scared. I'm sure Trump won't get scared. But I'm hoping that David Friedman will stay strong in his position because Israel is waiting for him.
Well, as we're shooting this, this show, Friedman is now facing the hearing in the U.S. Senate. Look, it's not about the best. I know. I can see
I'm very enthusiastic.
You adopted
I met him,
the
by
language
the way,
of
just
President
to tell
Trump.
you that the clip they just showed, I was there. I gave a speech
Good
right after him.
Good
One
for
second,
you.
I'm telling you, you'll have your time. Don't worry.
No. Oh, hold on. You'll have your time. Hold on. You just
just to tell him that I met him and his wife, and they're lovely
I'm
people
sure they're
who
lovely
love
people.
Israel.
But this is a guy who said, you know, the American Jewish community sees this position of an ambassador to Israel as something very important. This is a guy who's Jewish, by the way, but who called J Street, one of the leading forces within the
Very
American
true.
Jewish community, worse than capos.
Very true.
Well, perhaps you, if he would have,
Very true.
if he
When
would
there
have
is
run,
an
excuse me,
organization who is working against
Excuse me,
Israel,
but this
against
is a
their
guy-
safety, against what is happening here,
Mai,
of course there are
Mai,
wars.
Mai,
He is
Mai,
right because he cares
Mai,
about Israel.
time out.
No, time
This is
out.
This is a guy who's supposed to represent the American administration. He's not a politician. He's a diplomat. This is not to call your fellow Jews worse than
They're not his
capos.
fellow Jews, Uli.
His
there
fellow
are
American
people who
Jews.
are working against
This is
Israel
something that-
daily.
this
And
is
this is, by
someone
the way, the
who
opinion of the majority of Israel.
5 former U.S. ambassadors to Israel said he's not fit
Yeah.
for this position.
Ambassadors who are
Ambassadors
A,
who-
lefties,
who-
B,
no,
B,
Mai, no,
B,
no.
jealous,
Don't-
C, don't want to see real
don't
improvement
distort
in Israel.
don't
What?
come with
Saying the
alternative
truth is
facts and
distort?
fake
Come
news.
on.
We're talking about ambassadors to various administrations, both Republican and Democrat.
Yeah.
It's just not true.
Uli, let me comment. Listen, in the end of the day, as I said before, I gave a speech in this clip right after David Friedman.
Good for
and
you.
Not the point. Good for me, yeah, but let me finish. As I said, I met a person who not only cares about Israel, but loves it with his true blood and his true
He
heart.
loves. He's
And
the head
in
of the
end
Beit
the day-
El Fund. That's great.
Let me
He's
tell
for
you
the settlements.
something.
He's
When
not.
you're saying,
He doesn't love
Uli,
Israel.
when
He
he's
loves
saying-
a specific Israel. Only one kind of
You're
Israel.
shouting. When he's saying that when you're saying that he's supposed to represent the American administration,
Right.
he is representing the American administration by saying this about JC.
So after this heated debate, to something more cold. And let's talk about Sweden. And the Swedish Foreign Minister, Elizabeth Wallström, announced a new envoy to the region, a new envoy of Sweden to the Israeli-Palestinian peace talks, whatever. Of course, you know, I respect a lot the Swedish government. And I respect their somewhat sense of humor, I would say, because first of all, regardless of what I think about Sweden, it's obvious that the Israeli government doesn't accept their offer, nor do they see Sweden as a friend of Israel right now, and there's no peace process whatsoever. So this announcement, how can I say it? A bit odd.
Well, I would offer the Swedish people to engage their chocolate and keep their nose in their own business, since they don't really know what's going on in Israel, what's going on between Israel and the Palestinians, and sending their own envoy is just a joke. I don't know how to call it. Really, being a country that really doesn't deal with this kind of conflict, not surrounded by enemies, doesn't have daily and hourly threats to destroy her, and, you know, mostly living like a fun, good life, criticizing and trying to think that they know what to do about it, for me, is pathetic. And you know what? It's not just about Sweden. It's the chutzpah, and I'm saying it in Hebrew, it's the nerve that so many countries, especially in Europe, has to criticize, and we see it in the UN, criticize what's going on in Israel when they are not living here, not experiencing what we're experiencing, and see it one side only, that mostly the left likes to sell to them. And for me, it's, you know, saying, who are you to get involved in what you do? Do we involve in other people's issues?
First of all, of course we are. We have a foreign ministry that does that. And you know, try to say that no one in the world has no issue about international issues.
Say no one.
And the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is an international conflict. It's not an internal
also
Israeli
what's going on in Syria with the slaughter of ISIS, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Kurdistan. I don't see them engaging what's
There's
going
a coalition
on
there. What
and
are you
this
talking
is hypocrisy. A coalition there?
Yes, of course. There is a coalition. There are talks in Geneva right now.
Hundreds of thousands of people were slaughtered there, Uli. And they're engaging what's going on here in Israel?
You're totally right that the world does not do enough. But to say that nobody is interested in what's going on there is also saying we're the only ones in the world.
How many resolutions has passed in the UN against Syria?
Zero. As long as we
How many
occupy the
resolutions against Israel?
Mai, please let me finish a sentence.
Okay. But answer my question after.
I'm trying to do it, but you're not letting me. As long as we occupy the Palestinians, the world will be focused here. You can't avoid it. It's an international conflict that the world puts an energy into it.
They're trying to avoid the real problems in the world and deal with something that is so small.
You are very happy when President Trump is interfering, right? Because he's following your.
President Trump is not interfering. He's a friend. There is a very big difference.
You know, the Palestinians also. You know what? Perhaps the Palestinians also have friends. I think it's the best thing for all of us is to have peace here.
When I see an organization of people in the UN not passing one resolution against the slaughter in Syria
that's not true.
And passing that is true.
6 resolutions last year.
It's a lie.
It's not a lie. Check it out.
I'll check it out.
Check your facts.
No real resolutions that are making any effort to stop what's going on.
Because Russia is vetoing it. You're right. Because Russia is active there.
But no one has been vetoing what's going on.
Russia, friends of President Trump, your beloved president.
So we had a very heated show today, me and Uri. We had very hot topics, but I want to end on a good note and saying we had Valentine's Day this week, and I'm just hoping that not just on Valentine's Day we will show love to each other, but we will try to spread the love every day, every hour, all year long. Right, Uri?
Yeah, you took an international, I would say, or a Christian holiday. I would
international
use
for me.
A Jewish holiday we had this week, which is
such patriotic.
Yeah, of course, Tu B'Shvat, the New Year of trees and plants, and also the birthday of the Israeli Knesset, the Israeli Parliament, which we all are very proud of. It's part of our new nation that we all are proud of, and we hope to be proud of the Knesset all year long. So, yeah, and I'm looking forward for next week.
So thank you very much, Uri, and thank you very much for joining us. Join us next week as we debate the hottest topics that Israel had. Have a good week.